DLC.
But a game that I've been playing that I really like that I can talk about that I had missed before is El Paso Elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played a bunch of this as well a while back.
El Paso Elsewhere, I think it came out in September. I think it had a Steam Next Fest demo. I think I first saw it when the developer was on Kinda Funny's Indie Games showcase that they do. I think it was around GDC. Shout out to Kinda Funny and the light they shine on so many great games and how they use their platform to do that. It's awesome. And I had kind of missed this game. It's like, oh, I should play it. I never got around to it. And I think it was now on Paste Magazine's top 30 games of the year list. They come out with their list. And I think Paste's list is always very interesting. Like, there's always the things that you know in there. Like, yeah, And then I feel like there's always really interesting things. And they usually do a good job articulating why that game is in there. And it's like, no, yeah, it had this glitch and the graphics aren't great, but it made me feel this way, or it made me think about what a game could be this way. And if memory serves, El Paso Elsewhere, I think, was their number 2 game this year. And I was like, okay, okay, Steam wish list.
That's right.
time to move into the actual library. So I bought El Paso Elsewhere. It's incredible. I have not rolled credits on it just yet. Because of suicides. It doesn't, okay, it said too much. I think you can say it was available. People were playing it. So I haven't rolled credits on El Paso Elsewhere, but it is Max Payne inspired, heavily Max Payne inspired. And
Max Payne with vampires.
Is that what it is?
Basically.
Yes, but also like leaning into the Max Payne kind of dream sequences, but not in like the annoying. I think it was Max Payne 2 that did it more. It was like a lot of baby crying in a corner.
I did not like those sections.
Walk
of Max Payne.
along the bloodline.
Oh, I
don't
did not like
fall
that.
off the bloodline.
Oh my god!
As a wall then melts and a baby cries.
Yeah.
So it's like the good parts of that, if that makes sense, because also. As you mentioned, Jeff, we just did an Alan Wake 2 spoiler chat with Philippe, Alex, and I, and so I'm very much Team Remedy. I love Remedy. I love what they're putting out. I love what they're doing. And El Paso Elsewhere feels like a Remedy game in that way of going back to Max Payne and Max Payne 2. And it does the thing with the full screen title card coming in and saying like, you know, the level you're on. At the end of level, you get this really great music sound up. The game uses music beautifully throughout. But this game also looks like a PS2 era game. It very much looks like Max Payne. The rough polygonal shapes, the kind of flat textures for faces. But it takes this idea of the protagonist's girlfriend is a vampire. And like the head vampire. And you get this really cool story going on of like, I should have seen this coming. I was an idiot to think it wouldn't go this way. But love makes you do stupid stuff. And he like gets his pills,
That's so great.
eats some, and he's like, I always knew this was going to be a one-way trip. Just got to get it done. And it's like, oh, it's
So there's
all
even
that.
pills in it?
Yeah, there's
sorry?
pills.
I said
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
even
Pills.
pills in it because Max Payne had the pills too.
Yes. And so it like really leans into it. It's like an homage, and it has the bullet time and the diving, but it's also because you're going into this motel in El Paso that is an elsewhere. It's like transformed by this vampiric energy. Like as you're going down the elevator, like the world falls out, and you're just kind of on this elevator chain going down into this vast nothingness. And he's just like, yeah, I should have known that was going to happen. You know, it's like
there's like no roof on the hotel at all. It's like this nebulous other world.
Yeah.
But you're in a hotel, but then there's like no roof on it.
And then some levels later in the game, like doors are floating above, and you walk through the first time and nothing happens, and you come through the second time and vampires fall out of those doors. So it like sets up this kind of tension, not Alan Wake 2 level of tension, but like does a really good job kind of keeping you on your toes. And then the shooting is it's still really fun. Like Max Payne 2, Max Payne 1, those games hold up mechanically. And this takes from that and kind of tightens it. It makes it feel modern. It feels like how I think Max Payne 1 played, you know, but at a great frame rate, in great resolution, but yet still using those the homage graphics. And again, a absolutely killer soundtrack. So I sat on this game for too long, and I think, I don't know if it'll make my top 5 favorites of the year, but from where I am right now, I'll probably be singing it out again as a other 5. I think a lot of people probably missed this game like I did. And if you are looking for that action-packed running and gunning, jumping in and doing stuff and doing it well, and with a really cool story, I don't want to spoil where the story goes, but it's super interesting. It's kind of cheesy and dripping in this idea of noir.
Noir, yeah.
But really cool. And as it changes and evolves with him, the larger mythology of the world, where he's yeah, but I've also fought griffins and unicorns. That one was a real jerk. And it's ooh, it's just really fun. It's really, really fun. El Paso Elsewhere. A real gem of an indie game, I think.
That's interesting. I played this several weeks ago, and I never brought it up on the show because I just did not vibe with this game at all.
Whoa!
I love it. The exact opposite.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up and just trounce on it, but
But now that I liked it, floodgates are
well. You're bringing it up, so I'm gonna.
I know.
Bring my weigh in on my opinion. I don't think you mentioned it looking like PS2. I don't think it looks like a PS2. I think it looks like a PS1 game, but it's very primitive looking. I mean, it's intentionally so, right? It's intentionally so, but I don't want people to get the wrong idea. This is a very primitive looking game, right? It's very.
It's those retro polygonal, it's 4K, but very purposefully polygonal.
It looks like Virtua Fighter, right? It's very, very, very primitive looking, which is fine. That's an aesthetic that it's going for. And I think the strongest element of this game is the fun cinematic, the cinematics, which are, I mean, it does a lot of really cool stuff with quick cuts and angles. It'll underneath the guy's head and to the right of the guy's head as he's I was not there. It's changing camera angles each line, or it'll do fun stuff like that. And I think that's where it's strongest. I thought the actual gameplay, I was not vibing with it at all. It did not click with me. I adore the Max Payne games. They played them, as they came out, and they hold a very special place in my heart at a very special time in my life.
Same.
This game sort of it adds drive a stake through the heart of the vampire thing, and you can get stakes by breaking anything in the environment. We'll leave a wooden stake, and you're walking through this hotel room, and there's a chair. You can smash the chair, and you'll have a stake. And it does. My experience was that it used that as a way to mitigate the fact that you're kind of always out of ammo. And I did not find the melee stake combat to be very fun or satisfying. And I don't know. I didn't think it got the Max Payne formula. It felt like a riff on a riff. It didn't feel like it nailed it for me. I love the fact that you love it, Christian. I'm not trying to disparage it. I just giving a counterpoint to the fact that I was pretty disappointed with this one, and I bounced off of it. It just was not vibing with it at all. But I know a lot of people really think highly of it.
If folks are thinking about giving it a try, what I also really love about the game is right when you start a level or start the game, you're presented with these options. It's not even difficulty. Yes, there's difficulty, but below that, you can see the granular things that it changes. So if you go from standard and you put it on story mode or whatever, it's oh, this gives me, I do 2x damage on enemies and they do 0.5x damage on me, and I have this much more slow-mo. And then you can go in and tweak that stuff yourself. And you can also turn on, what I turned on was auto reload, because I found the manual reload button to take me out of the flow of the jumping and the slow-mo and all the stuff I wanted to be doing. So I turned on auto reload, but you can also turn on unlimited ammo, and it's all just there for you. And I love when games do that. I think I agree with you. The first few levels, I felt resource starved in terms of ammo. Later, when I have my SMG and my shotgun, I feel like I was just getting more and more ammo than I would have needed. But I love that stuff's there and it doesn't penalize it. It doesn't make it feel lesser. It's kind of here's this cool action game we've made, and we want you to experience it. And every time you start the game, when you go to a new level, those set of options are there for you. So I think if you are playing it, dear listener, and you kind of feel that one of those edges is ruining the experience for you, change it. Change it and go back, because I think the game wants you to play your way, which I love.
It's pretty funny too when you die. It's like, that's not how it happened. And then if you die again, and it'll be like, that's not how it happened. Like it's like, come on, pal, stop dying on that same part. Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, I love it. And it was like $20. I think it was like on sale for $15 on Steam sale. So it runs great on deck too. When it launched, apparently it didn't, but it runs really well on Steam Deck now. So I've been loving it there as well.
Again, it's called El Paso Elsewhere.
Yes, sir.